There are all different kinds of diabolical humans in this world. But the thing about humans is that their patterns of behavior often are very, very common and are mirrored in the world with each other and through other people. Closeted gays, and I would even say bisexuals, bisexual men, are generally narcissists, sadists, and psychopaths. Straight up. If this concept is new to you and it's shocking you, good. Get your notepad out. Closeted men use gay men for sex because narcissistic people are hiding behind false masks that they create to the outward world. They have a way of thinking where the only way you can have a relationship with them is if you are of a service to them. And this is entirely how a narcissist would think. They don't want equals. They don't want friends. Narcissists wouldn't really be able to have real friends. They want people that suck their cock and do whatever they want and agree with everything that they say. A narcissist or a psychopath's worst enemy is truth because they are pathological liars. And they are liars because they are lying to themselves about who they are, and they enjoy playing very sadistic power struggle games with people all around them. Before I start the prefaces of this video, which I feel like I just have explained very straightforwardly, if you have the brain capacity to understand this and see this for what it is, then good. But if you haven't figured this out, this may be a bit of a shock to you. Humans are all on different levels of consciousness. Nature is on different levels of consciousness as well in the natural world. There are pecking orders in the human world. Some people are so blatantly ignorant to this that it's just comical. So, youth, wealth, race, beauty, and social status all affect you. There's no way around it. That is the world that you're living in. So those 5 things there run the world, and they will dictate the quality of your existence here. There's no way around it. So there are levels within humanity based on what is the majority. So anything that isn't a minority will not have the power of the majority. So for example, gays. Not queers, not trans, none of these fucking made up words. Homosexual men are right down the bottom. That is where they're at. A lot of them are very damaged. A lot of them don't know how to have real relationships with each other. I think being gay to some capacity does damage you. And I have done videos talking about the long-term effects on the soul that happen when you're in a gay community. Because I can assure you it's not love. It's not wholesome. But that is not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is for me to call out and give it to you dead straight from an occult point of view, from a spiritual point of view, in a very brutal fashion that isn't going to be light and fluffy. Gays are down the bottom. Closeted and bisexual men, which I actually don't really believe in bisexuality. I don't think that's really a thing. I don't think Mother Nature would actually ever really split attraction like that. I think the world and humans, the world that we're living in is so complex. It's so complex. There's so many aspects to living here that splitting attraction like that would just confuse and make life way harder. I don't really believe in bisexuality, particularly within men. I think they're just gay. And I think they just like to play this word to have their cake and eat it too. Because it comes from personality. It comes from the soul of who you really are and how you express yourself. That's why a lot of women don't want to date or be near bisexual men. Because we're dealing with archetypes that play out in your life and in your body on an alchemical level, which is the divine feminine and the divine masculine. Women want to be contained by the masculine, not controlled, contained. But they feel that they can't be contained if the man is getting fucked up the ass by another man, or if that man is a cuck. So if you're not familiar with the term cuck, let me just reiterate that. The cuck is from the cuck bird. It's derived from that, which is a bird that is going to go and sit on another bird's eggs to take care of the eggs of another bird that sired those eggs. So it's not an alpha. It's someone that has embraced a lifestyle of being not even a beta, more of just a simp. If you want to look up cuck porn, you can. It's usually when a man has a very little dick or he's not masculine, and the woman needs to get a man in to fuck her in front of the cuck so the cuck can get turned on by someone else fucking his woman, which is the epitome of sadomasochism. And it's sick. But that's what it is. No one can change that of what they are. No one. It is very, very crucial and important in life to accept that of what you are. As a spiritualist, giving it to you real and raw, it is very, very difficult to compel someone to act against their natural nature for a prolonged period of time. It doesn't fucking work. Okay? You can give what is known as the profit motive to a person, where they will behave in a way that you want them to for a period of time in exchange for something. Most people know this as work. When you go to work, you play a character, you do this task so you can get paid, but you're doing it because you're getting paid. Your colleagues are not your friends. It's a job. So there's a motivation to behave in a certain way that will not get you fired, so you can continue getting employment to get your money. That's how humans operate. It's also known in the Pavlov's bell theory, or the experiment with the dog and the bell. That's how humans operate. They will not change their behavior unless there is a motive to do something, to do so. Every time someone does something, it is because there is a motive. That's why in any crime study, any decent detective with half a fucking brain would know that nothing equals nothing. No one just does something just because. This whole he lost his mind, he had mental health issues gets played a lot. No, there's always a motivation of why someone would do something. Always. There is a motivation to do something with purity and integrity and alignment with your truth. And there is a motivation that you will see with closeted men where they project virtue, they project integrity, they need to be seen as integral people, but underneath it, they simply are not. Narcissists are cowards, and they hide behind a false mask, a false self that they project to the outside world. And when you engage with narcissists, they need you to interact with the false self that they've created to reaffirm it back to them at all times. Because underneath it, they are cowards. And they are incredibly insecure about who they really are, the truth of who they really are. There is a link to narcissism, bisexuality, and closeted men, because they are not able to come out to the world and just say, this is me, this is who I am, this is the real me. Because the thing with narcissists and closeted people is you're compartmentalizing yourself. And then the problem is you might be expecting others to be authentic with you in their interactions with you, but yet you're not even showing them who you are back to them. So it's like a one-way street. They want to know all about you. They want you to be connected to them, but they share nothing about themselves with you. Power play 101. That's why I've always said, if you meet someone and you can just be you, and wounds and all, warts and all, and just be straight up honest with someone, and that person can see you and go, okay, right, okay, I get that, and they accept that, and they like that within you, well, then you've got some potential. But if they can't come to you and show you who they are and let you see who they really are, then it's all a complete waste of time. And that's one thing that I really, really value more than anything in this lifetime is time. I can't get time back. Wasting time is such an offense to me. When you know how quick life goes, life is over in a second. So playing games, pretending, hiding, being sneaky, being deceptive, this has serious consequences. And this has serious, serious consequences in other people's lives. And yes, as an occultist, I can tell you there are spiritual consequences for deception, for wasting other people's lives away. This is also connected to something called the karma loka process, which happens when you die. I have explained this in previous videos. You must operate from who you really are for people to see you. If you're really dumb and shallow as shit and you don't know who you are, then that's exactly what you will attract. You'll get a partner that will be the same. The conversations will be shallow. There will be no spiritual presence. You'll be operating purely from the physical world because same sees same. Mirroring is what humans do. I hope this is getting through to you. You cannot run away from yourself, and you cannot win a battle within yourself because you are both sides. You cannot wipe the slate clean by moving it because you are the slate. There is no way out but through. Facing yourself and owning your truth is the only way. Because what you're going to do is you're going to build a world in a false mask with people from the beginning. So think of it like a house. If the structure is built on sand, if you're laying concrete and putting a slab down to build a house, to have a sturdy house, to have strong walls, to have a kitchen and a bathroom and all the rest of it, and you've built that house on just sand, on something that isn't real, that isn't true, that's an illusion, that's based on being deceitful, how far do you think this could really go? This is a tale as old as time. Imagine this scenario that I'm going to pitch to you, which is the reality for millions of men. You're gay. And you know it. Then you can't be seen as lower in society. You can't be seen as a fag. You don't want to be able to own your truth because you're scared of judgment. You're scared of shame. So you choose the path of deception. You choose the path of self-deception, which is the worst type of deception you can play is self-deception. Just like the worst type of rape someone can have is like when you rape yourself, when you put yourself in something that you know you don't want to do. You know it's not right, but you do it anyway. Tale as old as time. Gay man hides, meets girl, meets a woman, and he pretends because his fear of judgment from other people for who he really is greater than his truth and willing to face his truth. So he marries a woman and he pretends to fall in love with her. But what he's really doing is he isn't choosing her out of love, out of real love, because he secretly doesn't want her, because she is not a man. He is attracted to men. Secretly, he would be better off with a man. But he chooses her, and he basically chooses her as a cover. As a cover to help play along in his deception with himself. With his deception to his in-laws, with his deception to his own family. Could you imagine doing something so selfish as this? This is why narcissists and psychopaths do this all the time. Because they're so psychotic and selfish that they would marry someone that they don't even really want just to project an external mask to the outside world in a fucked up, phony relationship, in a phony fantasy. And then what? She gets pregnant. Oh shit, what are you going to do now? What are you going to do? You're really screwed now. And then you think that if you could have a baby, that you could convince yourself that you're straight by playing the daddy. Now we've got more distraction. Now you've got kids that you really should not have had. And that secret urge that lives inside your head, it doesn't go away because it is the real you. And that urge surfaces and bubbles. It's the repressed you. It doesn't go away. And it won't ever go away because it's who you are, because you're not living in alignment with your real expression of who you are. So then you build over the years a fake world around you full of distractions, making things look pretty, having family photos, making it look like we're such a close, beautiful family. And then if you can try and convince other people outside of this that it's real, maybe you might just be able to convince yourself if you can convince your colleagues. Because secretly you are ashamed of who you really are. The fear of rejection, the fear of judgment is stronger than truth. And how deliciously you have deceived people all around you. This is fucked. And then you try and figure out a way to rationalize that urge of yourself by trying to get off the hook by all means possible. Going and seeing massage therapists for happy endings so you can play with the guy under the guise that you're paying him for a service. You can disassociate yourself from him as a human. He's just a doll and a toy for you to play with. This is exactly how narcissists use people. They see people as toys or dolls to be used and discarded. And when your wife or your girlfriend's away, that's when you get to come out. When she's gone to visit her in-laws, her family, whoever, she's away. When you're on your way home from the gym, when you've got an alibi, when you're away on that work trip, going to another state or city, now it's time for you to play. Now it's time for you to come out. Now you can go get a SIM card and put it in a phone and get a burn phone. Now you can download this wonderful thing in the modern capitalistic world called Grindr, where you can join millions of other faceless cowards hiding behind faceless profiles just like you. And they're faceless for a reason. Because they're living a lie. Because if there was nothing wrong with who you are, then why hide like you do? And then you have the audacity to go out there and proposition vulnerable young gays or gays that are in their truth, that are living their truth, that are authentic with who they are, but secretly you fucking hate them because they are the expression of you that you try to suppress, that you try to hide. And then you get to try and use them for sex so you can feel powerful again. You can feel in control again. The gay man is the physical embodiment of the parts of the straight, closeted homosexual man that he keeps hidden within himself. And closeted men and narcissists will rationalize cheating by like some of the stories that they will come up with to try and rationalize this level of deception. It's just off the fucking charts. Well, it's not cheating if it's not a girl. Well, I can't get him pregnant because he's lower than you. Because the gay guy's lower in society than you, and he's the embodiment of the parts of yourself that you're trying to hide when he's just like you. You see him as a joke, as something you can just play with like a toy and discard at your earliest convenience. You have no interest in his integrity. You have no interest in his dignity. You don't care. You're just going to exploit him, use him for your self-esteem boost, and then discard him. And gay men are vulnerable. I've been saying this from the start. A lot of gay men are very damaged from being gay. They have very low self-worth. A lot of gay men, I would say most gay men, they are so inverted and fucked up from a gay culture that they actually think that being used by a straight man is hot. They think abuse is love. Abuse equals love to gay men. Did this get through to you? Am I getting in your head now? The excuses that sadists, psychopaths, and narcissists come up with are just off the charts. It's unbelievable. They don't have the capacity to create healthy, real relationships with people or friendships. They lack empathy. They lack compassion because their moral compass is skewed. It's off. The gay world in itself is tribalism, and it is very primitive. It's an environment that is designed to, well, I guess the big part of gay culture that really dominates it now are the apps, which is this kind of like transactional thing where people log in, use each other, and get off. And the app actually makes money from that. It actually commercializes people and exploits them in its own way to keep you on there. It's a trap, just like a pokie machine. This is what humans have reduced themselves to. And it's actually very similar in the straight world as well. Apps come from a culture of disassociation, and narcissists, closeted men, and sadists all have sex addictions. And this is going to be getting worse and worse and worse because we are living in a throwaway culture where it teaches us to treat another human being without any regard for their well-being or that person's dignity, like I said. And that's what it does. It preys on people and it traps them in this cycle of hookup culture that is shallow, superficial, and ultimately just goes nowhere. And then you get old, you grow old, and you die. And that's where a lot of them are. They're just in this cycle of not being able to build real healthy relationships. They've got very fucked up fetishes, which is just nothing more than trauma bonding. And all these closeted gays are in there as well, pulling them back into the closet with them. Closeted men are dangerous to gay men because they pull them back in to this undergrounded, it's like an underground world of hiding and pretending, when the gay man has actually already owned his truth. He's already come out and said, this is me, this is who I am, I'm owning who I am. At the very least, that is a healthy place to start. That is why I don't go anywhere near closeted men, because their moral compass is not acting in truth, it's not acting in alignment, it's not acting in integrity, and nothing can ever come out of that is real, because they're selfish and they're wasting other people's lives away in phony relationships that are not real. And after years and years, women that have been caught up in this stuff really hurts. They can't get that time back. It is a betrayal at like a magnitude that is unbelievable. No amount of therapy or sitting in a therapist's office will fix this. My personal favorite is when closeted men, after doing all this damage and getting caught out, which they always do, they try and play the victim. You are not the victim. You are the perpetrator and you are the problem. When people say shit like, oh, it was an accident, I didn't mean to, you knew exactly what you were doing. Misstepping your step on a train, getting off a step, is an accident. Uploading apps and coming back and forth and living a double underground lifestyle, that is an intention. That's a choice. That's an ongoing thing. Closeted, bisexual men are predators. They're sociopaths. A lot of them have extreme mental health disorders. And that's not something to be proud of, because how they treat other people is going to be a byproduct of their disorder. You have to tell the truth and be authentic to live a life that has authenticity. There is no way around it. Don't give me this bullshit about I'm in my 40s and 50s and I'm figuring out who I am. You've had fucking 40 years to figure out who you are. I'm experimenting. You know what? Someone else isn't your fucking experiment. That's a human being. That's not your fucking experiment like a little lab rat for you to come and play with when you feel like it, when it's convenient for you. It's always got to be on your terms. It's just nothing more than a power play. Like you're the scientist and they're the little rat in a cage and you play with them when it's convenient for you. And then when it's not, like a doll, they're supposed to drop out of sight and disappear because it's convenient for you when they disappear. Someone else is not your fucking experiment. You don't get to play that with other people without consequences. Did this confuse you? Do you understand what's really happening now? Do you get it? Good. Get it and get it good. Don't fuck with me. Don't play stupid games. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Coming out is a completion process of the psyche. I did mention, and I have mentioned before, this is like cleaning a house. You can't just compartmentalize stuff. If you clean one room in your house and leave all the other rooms dirty, the dirt from those rooms are going to go into the clean room. Everything overlaps everything. It's all connected. A lot of this compartmentalizing bullshit is used with these gays, these closeted gays, where it's like, I have my love life and then I have my sex life and then shut the fuck up. It's all connected. You're not getting off the hook. Developing authenticity is like flexing a muscle. You have to strengthen it to build that. If you can't strengthen your authenticity, you will be weak. And there is nothing worse than a weak coward that avoids things, that hides things, that runs away from things, running away from themselves. This is great if you're immortal, but you're not. You're not going to live forever. The time that we have here is very, very limited and it goes very, very quickly. So if you're vacuuming your house and you're starting to come out and own your truth, get on with it. And stop wasting other people's times and playing fucking stupid games. No amount of money or making your house look pretty or living a projection that you're trying to project to the outside world is going to override the simple fact that you are lying. And then you're going to traumatize everyone else around you. You're going to have kids that you should never have had. They'll never trust you when it all comes out. A lot of women out there, just for the record, a lot of you know that he's gay. But as long as he's providing, as long as he's like bringing in the money, I can live this lifestyle, I get the spoils, I'll just turn a blind eye. That's disgusting too. Money cannot buy virtue. Money cannot buy truth. You must be authentic with yourself. Then we can actually build something that is real in this world. Living in a shallow world, this is how it is now. This is how it is. Other people are not a game for you to play with when it's convenient for you. Other people have souls. They have feelings. Playing around with someone else's mental health for your fun under the guise of some fucking fetish is sick. and it's inversion. It's perversion. This is all I had to say on this topic. This has been a heavy one. And if this offends you, I don't give a fuck.